Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Daily Crypto Byte. Today is Tuesday, September 7th, and I hope you all had a wonderful long weekend. Lots of interesting price action over the weekend, but we are quickly giving it back this morning. So without further ado, let's hop into things. But before we do, John, CJ, how are you gents doing today?
I'm good. How about you, CJ?
I'm doing well. It was a nice long weekend. A lot of interesting price action, of course, little profit taking today, but big news coming out of El Salvador. You can officially make Bitcoin payments, and it is officially legal tender for those citizens. The first domino to fall, my friends.
Well, and I loved that, as you guys reported last week, every Salvadoran who downloads that wallet is going to get $30 in Bitcoin. Which is a tall order for any country. But nonetheless, that's what they have said they will do. And to sort of honor that, I guess, Brazil is encouraging its crypto population to also buy $30. So can you imagine at 7 p.m. if everybody buys $30 worth of Bitcoin? But to your point already, Monty, the easing of price, I know you didn't say it isn't a bad thing. I always hate it when people come on TV or anywhere else and say, oh, yeah, I want it, but I want it lower. No, you don't. No, you don't. You wish you bought it when it was lower, but you don't want it to go back down to where you bought it in most people's case. I mean, I guess if you're somebody who's earning money on a regular basis, and you just say, I want to put, 80% of what I got into crypto or whatever, but I only make, $700 a week. Okay, I get it. So for that person that wants to hodl and just put it all in and is a true believer, yeah, I guess maybe that person would like it to be at 40,000 for the next 2 years, because then every week they'd buy it at 40,000, buy it at 40,000. We all know that's not how this works. But I think that the crypto greed and fear index, we haven't talked about it as much lately, guys. You and I were talking about it a lot when the crypto fear and greed index was in the 20s and even in the teens. But now the crypto greed and fear index, there you go, you've got it there, is in the 70s. And it has been between 70 and 80 for the entire month of August. So when you've got, as many crypto watchers will tell you, the reason they call it the fear and greed index is when we're in extreme fear, that's when we're down in the teens. This is the opposite of a high vol. So when the vol might be high, but the fear and greed index is low. So when that fear is really high, in other words, the readings are low, like in the teens, that's when the best buys occur. And when it's high, that's when people are more likely to see corrective actions. Now, the not so much contra, but the other side of that is that if we back and fill, like a chartist would say, backing and filling, backing and filling, backing and filling, that's a positive sign. When we're up there at 79 and 80 for the fear and greed index, we're saying it's so greedy that we're likely to see a correction. Now, I'm not saying today's a correction. I'm saying today's a consolidation. Profit taking, like you guys said, I'd agree 100%, and a consolidation. And that would be something that could take that fear and greed index, maybe, I'm not saying it will, but maybe 65, which would be far more bullish than to have a bunch of great news like you talked about, CJ, about El Salvador and so forth, and like I talked about Brazil, and have everybody get all bulled up and have it go to like an 88, and then we kind of go, okay, here comes the rug, it's going to get pulled. And then that correction's like a $10,000 correction instead of a consolidation sort of profit taking, which is what I think we see here.
Yeah, we also had mentioned, Tom Lee said, if a 10% correction is to occur, in the stock market, which would likely affect Bitcoin as well, that would likely come in October. So that kind of lines up with your claim as well, John. But I cut you off, Monty. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly share this piece of news that ties in with what John was talking about. And I personally think this is a big piece of news. And it has to do with Brazil. So Visa, which we talked about last week, and their purchase of $150 or $150,000 CryptoPunk, is now looking to integrate Bitcoin payments into Brazil. So obviously, this is a potentially massive market. It could be huge for Bitcoin, but interesting to note that Visa is the one that's kind of, leading the charge here. Just thought that was worth sharing and kind of goes along with John's point about Brazil there.
Yeah, and keep in mind, folks, that if you're a hodler, great. I do that, but like I've said many times, that's in a hardware wallet off. It's not connected to the internet. And I'm a trader for the others. And so when you get a move to 52,000, I'm not saying you have to do like I do and trade it, but that's what I like to do is trade it. We also had Ethereum, guys. Didn't I see Ethereum up over 4,000 yesterday?
Yes, it was.
Over the weekend.
Yeah.
And here it's made a decent little correction. It's 37.54 right now on my Voyager app. So 37.54 versus almost 4,100. That's call it a 9% correction or more. Interesting. Bitcoin, 50,749 right now. Did we go over 52 by much, Monty? I didn't really see. I know we went right up against 52.
Yeah, we were up above it for just a couple hours and not by much. We're back below it now, but yeah, it was just for a couple hours, I think, last night. So not too long.
Yep. And here we are still. If you want to be a glass half full person, which I try to be, we're up over $1 trillion again for Bitcoin. I've got the fully diluted market cap. Well, the market cap is 953 billion, but I've got the fully diluted market cap at $1,064 billion. So if you want to view it that we're shy of $1 trillion again for the actual market cap versus fully diluted market cap, I don't blame you. But still a big move over the last basically 5 weeks, guys?
Yeah, absolutely, John. And I'm glad you brought up that market cap metric, because I think that's going to be really important also, and not just Bitcoin's weight in that market cap, but also the altcoins as well. CJ, I know you've been looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart. I think that's going to be very important going forward here, because the whole market right now is kind of moving down together. We may see Bitcoin bounce first. I think we can get a lot by taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So any thoughts you have just taking a look at that chart real quick?
Yeah, let's talk about BTC as well, just to outline a little bit of context before we get into Bitcoin dominance, because like John had mentioned, we've had a terrific run here in the last few weeks, ever since bottoming, in late July. But as John had said, this has been a pretty consistent uptrend. It's not completely parabolic in the sense that we never formed any support. If this was an equity chart, you'd see gaps getting filled on each one of these run-ups and leg downs. Of course, crypto trades 24/7, so you're not going to see any of those gaps within these candles. The premise still exists, though, nonetheless. But right now, we're getting a bearish engulfing candle at the top of an uptrend. But I'm inclined to believe that dips in uptrends like this and in bull markets can be potential buying opportunities. We've run into a little bit of resistance here at about 52 to 53K. That is kind of remnants of the May uptrend that we can see here at the top left. And the interesting thing that I find, before I get to Bitcoin dominance, I'll just mention that, is in the short term, we actually might see a little bit of a reaction rally in Bitcoin, because we are reaching a TD sequential 9 on the 1 hour chart. And so that's why the Doge of the day today for me would be Bitcoin if I had to choose one. I really like the strength that we're seeing, and I think that that can be backed up by Bitcoin dominance as well. If we go to the Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see, I want to add a moving average in here as well, because it'll make it very much more apparent.
I mean, just looking at that chart, CJ, you can kind of tell that we're approaching a critical level here at about 40%. That is something we haven't been below in a very long time, but looks like we're kind of bouncing from there. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so each time we come near a TD sequential buy 9, of course, we didn't get all the way on this one. We actually corrected, or I should say, increased and rebounded on what would have been the 9, but nevertheless, it was still very close. Got another 9 here in which we rallied back into that moving average a couple times now. We had that again up earlier in earlier July, in which we rallied really during the bear market part of the, or not the bear market, but the bearish price action part of the market cycle. And here we are just a couple days ago over the weekend hitting another 9. I think Bitcoin dominance is going to rally into that moving average, and Bitcoin's going to be one of the strongest assets here, at least maybe for the week or the next couple days. But Bitcoin dominance is very bullish if you just look at it from a technical perspective, in my view. So I still think Bitcoin is strong. I think we might have a dip buying opportunity here, but that's going to be mine today.
Very nice. Yeah, this has been a really interesting month for crypto, and I think that it's kind of set us up for another even more interesting month. I think a lot of it has to do with NFTs and kind of how they've sort of dilapidated the space. Like, so much of the capital has flown into there, and not a lot has flown into DeFi. So I just want to quickly talk about some DeFi assets that I think are a bit more oversold than the rest of the market right now. And those will be my doges of the day. So let's start. I want to start with Aave. This is one of my favorite DeFi assets from a fundamental perspective, but also looking at this thing technically here. You know, I talk a lot about the 20-period smooth moving average. For me, during a trending market, it's just a great indication of support and resistance. As you can see here, when we retested this level just last week, we promptly bounced from this level. But as you can see here, this is looking a bit different. We're retesting this level now, whereas if you look at an asset like, DOT, which is selling off at a comparable rate, it's still significantly extended from its 20-period simple moving average. So when I look at Aave, I just see stronger immediate support to the downside and a higher likelihood of an immediate bounce from these levels. So this is not just true for Aave as well. If you take a look at, I don't want to look at Uni because this had some negative news last week that kind of is overriding the technicals, but looking at Comp, as you can see, this as well is currently retesting this 20-period smooth moving average. And we're seeing a similar thing from Yearn Finance as well. So I think this is interesting. It kind of ties in with the whole Bitcoin dominance argument. I think that looking to this sector of DeFi could be a good move in the month of September, just given the fact that it's less overextended than a lot of the market, and it's approaching support more immediately than the rest of the market as well. So just be on the lookout for those, Aave, Comp, Yearn Finance, also CeeLo, all looking very similar technically, and I think could be some of the first assets in the space to bounce in the next couple of days here. So those are kind of my doges of the day, but I'm still approaching them with a lot of patience today to wait to see if they break and close below that 20-period smooth moving average.
Very nice.
How about you, Doc? You got any doges of the day today for us?
I do, but I have to share my screen to show them. Just one sec. I'm pulling this over. Okay, because we all know that I'm a spaz at this, but nonetheless, I'm going to give it a shot again. Share screen. Okay, share screen, and
there we go. All
right. So you're good. Many of you are out there wondering right now, is Doc still drunk from the weekend? Is he still, why is he showing us pictures of kids partying and blah, blah, blah? Well, because there was perhaps one of the best trades. There have been several great ones, and I'm not saying I'm on all of them. That's not my job. But I am going to point out, guys, that when you see this, and many of you will recognize, probably Monty and CJ recognize, that's Lollapalooza, which is the largest music fest. I mean, it is just over the top. They let it go on this year, thankfully. And this is not mask or no mask. This is just me commenting on the fest itself. Kids love it. Adults love it. It's a crazy time. But there were a couple of crypto tie-ins to it this year. One of them was Solana. And I told you guys at the time, the day after that I was with the people from Solana and Hero, that DeFi options, DeFi derivatives really, exchange Hero, I said, well, this is pretty interesting, isn't it? And look at this, because that's Solana. That's a Solana price chart. And look at where Solana was then. It was $60, folks. 60. Take a look at where Solana is today, over 180. You've had a triple in just over that month because, of course, Lala kicks off at the final week of July. So I think July 31st was the last day. I'm not positive, but anywhere in that $60 range is where you see Solana. And then look at where it has gone since then. You'll be hard pressed to find a major market cap crypto that did better than Solana. I'm not fading it. I still have some. Unfortunately, I sold a lot when it crossed 140. So now I'm kind of kicking myself, guys. But this one, as you guys have said time and time again, the protocol here, this one has just been zooming. And so Solana is one that, like I say, I wish I stuck with even longer, but I still have it.
That's interesting because, Doc, you'd mentioned, you wouldn't fade this one, but I want to ask about Monty and just have this general discussion because it is a question in the chat I want to take. Is ADA? Do you guys
I knew this was coming.
Cardano
faded? Because we're starting to see, the hype, but now it's like the Gartner hype cycle where you have the early disappointments and failures of a new launch. What do you guys think in terms of ADA right now?
Great question. Bill's asking about it. We have Mr. AR Junt asking about it as well. This, if you go on Twitter right now and you're not following Charles Hoskinson, do yourself a favor, follow him right now, because regardless of how you think about Cardano, he's an interesting follow. He is very conscious of the community's reception of Cardano. So whenever you have a massive amount of FUD, he tends to, put out a tweet, and he doesn't mince words. He's pretty direct, and it's just an interesting relationship between a developer, a creator, and the community. It's just very interesting. But in terms of the Cardano FUD, I think it is somewhat merited because we've been talking about this for a long time, but this for Cardano is such an important period of time. This is where the rubber meets the road. There's no more BS. Like, people have been speculating on Cardano for years without true utility. Now we're getting hints at utility, but until we see those apps live, it's all still just in the rumor mill. And I think really, although people are saying that this, the development is really the testing point, I think the true testing point for Cardano is going to be when these dApps go live, how many people actually use them. That is a huge question mark right now, because the Cardano community, although they are very loyal and very active on Twitter, they're not necessarily, developers. I've seen a lot of comparisons to kind of the XRP army of 2017 and sort of their speculative fervor around XRP, and that being compared to current times Cardano. I think it is an apt comparison. So unless Cardano sees these dApps go live in the next couple of months and starts to see genuine utility, genuine, actual people doing transactions on these dApps, Cardano could be in trouble here. So it's going to be a really interesting rest of the year. I kind of see it as a buy the rumor, sell the news type event to a massive scale. But I still think Cardano could continue to climb before we get those dApps live. So I'm still bullish on Cardano, but I'm a little bit more cautious on it than I am with something like Solana, because Solana, we're already seeing that utility happen. We're seeing development happen. We're seeing use of the Solana ecosystem to a greater scale than we're seeing with Cardano. So I think the FUD is a bit warranted. That being said, I think the true testing point is just around the corner here for Cardano. And if it does pass and we see genuine utility happening on the blockchain, then it can continue to climb. But until then, I think we're going to see a lot of fun on Twitter and other social medias.
They are having some trouble with the throughput in terms of building an app like Uniswap on Cardano. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But that's something I often wondered myself as well, Monty, is like, as XRP dispersed, where did that army go? Did they leave crypto? Did they go to the Dogecoin community? Did they go to ADA? Did they go to Tron? Maybe. But I think that this is definitely a sell the news type of event, but not the end of Cardano by any means. So,
absolutely not. But I think that's all we got for today. One thing's for sure, I think this will be a really interesting week for crypto. So definitely head over to the crypto room. If you're not yet a member, you can try it for just $1 for the first month at markrebellion.com/try crypto. We got a 24/7 chat. We had people in there all holiday weekend sharing their insights. It was a really great weekend. But also we publish actionable trade insights. CJ recently published one on Serum. We've published a lot more as well with entries, exits, stop losses. Definitely check those out. We publish news, have an education curriculum, and a whole lot more. You can get access to all that for just $1 for the first month. So head over to markrebellion.com/try crypto.
And by the way, Voyager did uplist today, guys. I know that CJ, I'll let you throw in the promo, but Voyager did upgrade onto the TSX. So you can still trade it under the other symbol, which was VYGVX, but it has also uplisted onto the TSX, the Toronto Exchange, under the symbol VOYG. So both of those, pretty interesting. And by the way, $5 billion in customer assets. That's pretty damn big. So it's hats off to our friends at Voyager for that.
Well done. Also, speaking of uplistings, I want to give a congratulations to our good friend Alex Massioli and his project Cent Token has officially been added to CoinMarketCap and has had quite the week, going up about, I don't know specifics on it, but it's gone up about over 100% in the last week with this lifting on CoinMarketCap. So congrats for all the Cent token holders. Hope to see that listed on some major exchange going forward. But
yeah, congratulations, Alex and Ryan, and the team over at Trade the Chain. Great news.
Absolutely. One last thing, I do want to show this as well, guys, just while we're giving Alex a nice pat on the back here. We got another car in the race here, another car to compete against, the Trade the Chain Cent car. So we got the Voyager car, the Market Rebellion car, and the Cent car. It seems like crypto and finance is slowly taking over NASCAR here. But that's what I like to see. Going to have some interesting bets going on when we race against them at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So be on the lookout for that, but exciting stuff across the board.
Absolutely. Fantastic news. Well, guys, everybody out there, good luck trading them today. And like I say, there's been a long time. I bet these two are too young to have heard it very often. But CJ and Monty, there's an old adage on Wall Street, sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur. And it doesn't always work. And I'm not saying that people should actually follow that. But to see a situation where we have Rosh Hashanah and a lot of our Jewish friends that are not trading or using any sort of modern conveyance on that day or these couple days here. And then all of a sudden, it creates a nice opportunity, perhaps. And we're not seeing a significant drop in the market today, but nonetheless, overall market is seeing a little bit of, profit taking, let's call it. The Dow is down 260, but who cares about the Dow? The S&P is down 0.4%, NASDAQ virtually unchanged. But nonetheless, that that adage still exists. Sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur.
Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with another episode of the Daily Crypto Byte. Have a great day and take care.